Hello, everybody. This is going to be a weird video. I did those. You know how like when you're on Wikipedia and you're just like, let's just go through the random stuff. So you click the random article and you go through it, and then you read some interesting things. And so I thought, why not for a bit? I'll just go through what Wikipedia shows me, and I'll just basically read out what it says, and we'll learn some things. Yes. So the first random is somebody called Hanaji Bala, and they were born Hanaji Sayaji Shilakane. I apologise if I've said any of that wrong. In 1754 in Saswad, Pune, previously spelled in English as Pune, is a city in Western India, and he died in 1844, aged 89 or 90, near there, and is known for Marathi poetry. Now, Hanaji Sayaji Shelake, known professionally as Hanaji Bala, was a Marathi poet from Maharashtra, India. Hanaji's compositions were sung by his friend Bala Karanjika, and together the pair was known for their Hanaji Balaka Tamasha. He is known for contributions to the field of Lavani music and several classical Marathi songs. So basically, he's a poet who kind of also did sort of song versions of that. Interesting. Biography. Hanaji was born into a Nandgwali family in Saswad and moved to Pune with his mother Vithabai. His father uncle Balabahiru and grandfather Satapa were also musicians. He was a milkman by day and musician in the evenings as a part of an entertainment troupe at the Peshawar residence. That's quite interesting. It's a weird juxtaposition of that. Hanaji was initially patronised by Sawai Madravo Peshawar with an honorarium of 300 of the local currency per year. I don't know what that is. After Madhavro's death, he was spotted with the last Peshawar, Baji Rao II. Later in career, he moved to Baroda, where he received an annual sum of 200 from the Gaikwad prince. Mutual enmity brought about his murder in a forest near Pune. So somebody murdered him when he was 89 or 90. How interesting. Career. Hanaji composed over 200 Lavani and Pawadas. He contributed significantly for the development of Lavani musical genre. He was the first to set Lavanis using classical ragas and converted tamashas into musical concerts. Hanaji's work often promoted female perspective in poetry, and with encouragement from Peshawar, Baji Rao II, he composed Sringara Lavanis. In his historical mythological Lavanis, Hanaji followed the lyrical style of Sridhar Kavi and Mukteshwar Eknath's grandson. He introduced tabla in place of the traditional dolki. He has also developed the Baltakichi Lavani, a subgenre which is presented by the singer in the seated position. He incorporated tambori in his performances. Tambori is apparently a sort of a bit like a lute, but a bit longer. Hanaji also wrote a few ballads, but he was less successful in this regard. Fair enough. There's some media about him. The Marathi film Amar Bhupali, produced and directed by V. Shantaram in 1953, is based on the life of Hanji Bala. Pandit Nagarkar played the role of Hanji Bala with Lalita Pawar and Sandhya in supporting roles. The screenplay was written by Vishram Bedekar. A Marathi play titled Sangeet Hanaji Bala, starring Balchandra Pendharkar and Suresh Haldankar, first aired in 1954. And then there's a load of poems that he wrote, but there's a few. So, yeah, quite an interesting bloke. I can't remember what mutual enmity meant. Mutual enmity. The attitudes and feelings of an enemy. Oh, so he had mutual enemies, and that's why he got murdered. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. Random article. Here we go. Ooh. Hello. That's it's a man called William L. van der Berg. William L. van der Berg. So he was born on May 8th, 1948, and he's still alive. He's 76 in Kalamazoo, Michigan. What an interesting name for a town. Academic background, he went to Kalamazoo Central High School, and his academic work, his discipline was in Afro-American Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Now, William L. Vanderburg was the Evjue Bascom Professor of Afro-American Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He has written on antebellum slavery. The antebellum apparently was a period in the history of the southern United States that extended from the conclusion of the War of 1812 to the start of the American Civil War in 1861. So like kind of a 50-year. Yeah. On the history of black nationalism and on contemporary African-American popular culture. Vanderburg retired from teaching in 2008 and is currently Professor Emeritus, which I think means like you sort of come back if you need to. Education. Born and raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Vanderburg graduated from Central High School in 1966. He received his B.A. cum laude with honours in history from Western Michigan University in 1970 and was awarded a National Defense Education Act fellowship to attend graduate school. So basically a scholarship, really. He earned a PhD in American history from Michigan State University in 1973, submitting a dissertation entitled Rejected Men, the Changing Religious Views of William Lloyd Garrison and Frederick Douglass. Career. After training with Russell B. Nye, a contributor to the development of American popular culture studies at Michigan State, Vanderburg began teaching at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Since 1973, he has worked to develop the field of black popular culture studies within the academy, utilizing pulp fiction, black cast film, and popular music as historical sources. He was chair of Wisconsin's Afro-American Studies Department from 1981 to 1984 and was appointed Evjue Bascom Professor in 2003. And he has, there's some articles that he wrote, there's some books that he wrote as well. Personal life. Vanderburg is married, 1989 to present, to Diane Summers, an artist and systems analyst. He was previously married from 1967 to 1988 to Alice J. Honeywell, an editor. His family includes 2 daughters and 2 sons, and he lives in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Obviously, remember, William L. Van, well, anything on Wikipedia could be wrong, but I'm just having a bit of fun. And yeah, he's quite an interesting bloke. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was just reading something. Random article, here we go. Oh, there's a very short one. So, this thing is the Argyresia cassii, is a moth of the family Eponomatudiae. It is found in the Republic of Macedonia. Apparently, yes. So its domain is eukaryota, so eukaryote. So cells have a membrane-bound nucleus. Kingdom Animalia, so it's an animal. Phylum Arthropod, Arthropoda, so it's an arthropod. Class Insect. Order Lepidoptera. Family Argyrestildae and genus Agrestia. Species A. Cassii. Binomial name Agrestia cassii. Fries, 1963. That was quite a quick one. It was just about a moth species. Oh, here's somebody. Kenneth C. Flint, born June 23rd, 1947, age 77. He's still alive. Pen name Casey Flynn, occupation novelist, nationality American, alma mater University of Nebraska, Omaha, genre fantasy. Kenneth C. Flint, born June 23, 1947, is an American fantasy novelist. He's also written under the pseudonym Casey Flynn. A resident of Omaha, Nebraska, Flint taught literature and writing at the University of Nebraska at Omaha for 6 years before becoming English department head for Plattsmouth High School. In 1986, he quit teaching to become a full-time novelist. A majority of his works are either based on Irish myths and legends, or else are original stories involving concepts and sometimes characters from Irish mythology. His earliest and best-known works were centered around 3 of the most important characters of Irish legend: Lugh, Cuchulainn, is an Irish warrior apparently, and Finn Macumal. More recently, he has written a pair of Star Wars short stories and the historical fiction novel On Earth's Remotest Bounds, Year 1, Blood and Water, the first of a planned series. So there are 3 books in the Finn Macumal series: Challenge of the Clans, Storm Shield, and The Dark Druid. In the Gods of Ireland series, as Casey Flynn, he wrote Most Ancient Song and the Enchanted Isles. In the Sea Day series, The Riders of the Sea Day, Champions of the Sea Day, and Master of the Sea Day. And the novels that he wrote: A Storm Upon Ulster, Isle of Destiny, Crom, Otherworld, Legends Reborn, The Darkening Flood, On Earth's Remotest Bounds, Year 1, Blood and Water, and Star Wars: The Heart of the Jedi. Apparently cancelled and years later rewritten and released online, which is quite interesting. Short stories: Dr. Death, The Tale of Dr. N. Van Zan and Ponda Baba in Star Wars Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina, and Old Friends Effant Mon's Tale in Star Wars Tales from Jabba's Palace. So, a fantasy novelist who sort of has written some Star Wars-y stuff, and a lot of Irish influences. I wonder if he had any Irish heritage, I assume, or he was just really interested in it. Who knows? Anyway, next, random. Oh. This is a really quick one. It's just called WWW TV series, and the only thing in this article is an Austrian children's television series. That's it. And random, let's go again. Oh, okay. So we've got, so this is a list, like on Wikipedia you can get like a whole page which is like a list of stuff. So this is a list of Oh My Goddess chapters, whatever this is. Let's have a look. The chapters of the Japanese seinen manga series Oh My Goddess were written and illustrated by Kasuke Fujishima and serialized in the monthly manga anthology Afternoon. The series premiered in the September 1988 issue. 308 chapters in total have been serialized. The series followed the daily life of college student Keiichi Morisato after his wish for a goddess to stay with him forever is granted by Belle Dandy and her 2 sisters. The individual chapters are collected and published in tankobon volumes by Kodansha. The first volume was released on August 23, 1989. 41 volumes have been released. The series has been adapted into a 5-episode original video animation series released between February 1993 and May 1994. There was also a 48-episode anime television series titled The Adventures of Mini Goddess that featured super deformed versions of the character, and a feature film released in 2000. It's an animated film, it's not like live action, obviously, because it's a manga. In 2005, the manga was adapted into a second 48-episode anime television series by the Anime International Company that aired in Japan from January 2005 through September 2006. The series has also been adapted into a novel titled Oh My Goddess First End by Yumi Toma, the voice of Erd, which was released by Kodansha on July 20th, 2006. It was licensed in English by Dark Horse Comics and released on December 12th, 2007. Oh My Goddess is licensed for an English-language release in North America by Dark Horse. The company initially published the first 112 chapters individually, with the first chapter released on August 1st, 1994, and chapter 112 on September 1st, 2004. until volume 19 and 20, after which they only published the collected volumes. They also serialized individual chapters in their defunct manga anthology, Super Manga Blast. The first 3 volumes have had 3 different releases. They were initially published in a single abridged volume titled 1555 Goddess on November 1st, 1996, and were later re-released in unabridged volumes between June 5th and October 7th, 2002. The first 129 chapters were redistributed between volumes 1 through 20, so that each volume better followed story arcs. After this reordering, the English release had 19 volumes. The 4th volume was released on October 15th, 1997, volume 19, which Dark Horse numbered 19/20, and which ended on the same chapter as the Japanese volume 20, was released on January 19th, 2005. After this release, they began republishing the first 20 volumes, this time following the Japanese chapter layout and using a new translation. They also continued publishing volumes from 21 on. These also followed the original Japanese chapter layout. The third release of Volume 1 was on December 7th, 2005, and the re-release was concluded with Volume 20, which was released on February 22nd, 2012. Volume 21 was published by Dark Horse on July 6, 2005, and Volume 41 was released on April 25th, 2012. Editor Carl Gustav Horn noted Dark Horse's accelerated printing schedule of new volumes every 4 months. When Dark Horse released Volume 21, there were 9 volumes behind Japan. At Volume 41, they were only at 4 volumes behind, and that the English Volume 44 was released 5 months after the Japanese release of Volume 45, so he considered the publication caught up. And then there is literally just, for the rest of this, there's just a list of all 300 odd, things. So, I think, in sake of time, we'll leave that bit there. But, sounds quite interesting. Ooh, this is another geography-based thing. Chungo Creek, apparently is what it's called. Chungo Creek is a large creek close to Nordegg in western Alberta, Canada. It starts at a mountain lake called Upper Mons Lake and eventually empties into the Blackstone River in Alberta. Or the Alberta bit of it, I assume. Pardon me. Chungo is a word derived from the Stony language, meaning trail. Tributaries, Seepage Creek, Mons Creek, Upper Hanson Creek, Dorothy Creek, and Clark Creek. And fish species, the most common fish at the Chungo Creek is the bull trout. There's also Westlope cutthroat, brook and brown trout, and a small population of mountain whitefish further down the creek. Another quick one. Just a little sort of lake in the middle of Canada. Well, this is a have we had another? No, we haven't had a sports person yet. A new sports person. This person is Frank Rankmore. Full name Frank Edward John Rankmore. Date of birth 21st of July 1939. Place of birth Cardiff, Wales. Date of death 20th of November 2022. Aged 83. And he was a position of defender. He was a footballer. In his senior career, he for the years 1957 to 1963, he appeared for Cardiff City 67 times. Then from 1963 to 68, he competed for Peterborough United in 201 appearances, 7 goals for them. 1968 to 1971, Northampton Town, 103 appearances with 15 goals for them. And in an international career, he appeared once for Wales. I assume for the World Cup. We'll read into it, we'll find out. Frank Edward John Rankmore was a Welsh professional footballer who played as a defender for Cardiff City, Peterborough United and Northampton Town. At international level, he made 1 appearance for the Wales national team. Career. Rankmore was born in Cardiff and began his league career at Cardiff City after joining the club from local side Cardiff Corinthians in 1957. He was unable to break into the first team in his early time at Ninian Park, was spent mostly in the reserve side. At the end of the 59-60 season, he was placed on the transfer list. However, when Danny Malloy left the club in 1961, Rankmore found himself promoted to the first team, making 37 league appearances. during his first full season, but was unable to prevent the club slipping out of Division 1. After one more season as a first-team regular, Rankmore found himself out of favour again following the arrival of John Charles from Roma and was sold to Division 3 side Peterborough United for a fee of £10,000. Rankmore went on to appear over 200 times for Peterborough and was awarded his first and only cap for Wales when he played against Chile during a tour of South America in 1966. So he didn't compete in the in the World Cup. In 1968, he was sold to local rivals Northampton Town for £12,000, becoming the third Peterborough player to move to Northampton in the space of 5 months after Johnny Byrne and Jack Fairbrother, where he made over 100 appearances before injury forced him into retirement in 1971. Personal life and death. Rankmore died on the 20th of November 2022 at the age of 83. An interesting person, considering, he's been in a few teams. The teams haven't done that well, I suppose, but yeah, you never know. Anyway, next, I wonder what it'll be. Will it be geography? Will it be a film? Will it be Random Guy? Will it be an Austrian television series? Let's see. Okay. It's called the Podsafe Music Network. Interesting. Podsafe Music Network was the primary archive of Podsafe music available for use in podcasting without significant licensing difficulties on the internet. It was established by Mevio, a podcast production company founded by Adam Curry and Ron Bloom in the summer of 2005. The network's website provided tools for musicians and for podcasters, and also made streamed music available to the casual listener. The network was built by Chris Rockwell Brashears of the podcast The Daily Download and designed by Sue Fleming with the help of C.C. Chapman. The network and Mevio sought to promote the work of artists, independent and signed alike, who embraced the podcasting idea and made their work available for broadcast and promotion by podcasters. So it's just a way of getting music into podcasts. Quite interesting. Again. Ooh. The concept of pet insurance. Interesting. Let's have a look at this. Pet insurance is a form of insurance that pays, partly or in total, for veterinary treatment of the insured person's ill or injured pet. Some policies will pay out when the pet dies or if the pet is lost or stolen. Sorry, I was just reading something. As veterinary medicine is increasingly employing expensive medical techniques and drugs, and owners have higher expectations for their pets' healthcare and standards of living than previously, the market for pet insurance has increased. Prices for veterinary care have increased significantly. History. The first pet insurance policy was written in 1890 in Sweden by Claes Virgin. Virgin was the founder of Landsforsäkrings Alliance. At that time, he focused on horses and livestock. In 1947, the first pet insurance policy was sold in Britain. As of 2009, Britain had the second highest level of pet insurance in the world, 23%, behind only Sweden. According to the latest data available from the US Department of Clinical Veterinary, been watching too much James Herriot, Science and the Pet Food Institute, only 0.7% of pets in the United States are covered by pet insurance. In 1982, the first pet insurance policy was sold in the United States and issued to television's Lassie by veterinary pet insurance. In the United States, VPI has presented the annual Hambone Award to a pet covered by its policies since 2009. Pet is chosen by popular vote, judged to have incurred injury under the most unusual circumstances. It is named for an unnamed dog who reportedly was trapped in a refrigerator and suffered from mild hypothermia, eating an entire holiday ham while waiting for rescue. How policies work. Pet insurance is a form of property insurance rather than health insurance. As such, pet insurance reimburses the owner after the pet has received care and the owner submits the claim to the insurance company. Pet insurance policies primarily cover dogs, cats and horses. The more exotic species of animals can obtain coverage. UK policies may pay 100% of vet fees, but this is not always the case. It is common for UK pet insurance companies to discount their policies by offering customers the chance to pay an excess, just as with motor insurance. Excess fees can range from £40 to £100. Policies in the United States and Canada either pay off a benefit schedule or pay a percentage of the vet cost, 70 to 100%, after reaching a deductible, depending on the company and the policy. The owner usually pays the amount due to the veterinarian and then sends in the claim form and receives reimbursement, which some companies and policies limit according to their own schedules of necessary and unusual charges. For very high bills, some veterinarians allow the owner to put off payment until the insurance claim is processed. Some insurers pay veterinarians directly on behalf of customers. Most American and Canadian policies require the pet owner to submit a request for fees incurred. Previously, most pet insurance plans did not pay for preventative care, such as vaccinations or elective procedures, such as neutering. Recently, however, some companies in Canada, the United Kingdom, and the United States are offering routine care coverage, sometimes called comprehensive coverage. Dental care, prescription drugs, and alternative treatments, such as physiotherapy and acupuncture, are also covered by some providers. There are two categories of insurance policy for pets: non-lifetime and lifetime. The first cover buyers for most conditions suffered by their pet during the course of a policy year, but on renewal in the following year, a condition that has been claimed for will be excluded. So that probably means, like, if you health insurance because your dog is entering a contest like Crufts or something, you can't then claim it the year after. If that condition needs further that's specifically like health condition, never mind. If that condition needs further treatment, the pet owner will have to pay for that him/herself, or theirself. The second category covers a pet for ongoing conditions throughout the pet's lifetime, so that if a condition is claimed for in the first year, it will not be excluded in subsequent years. However, lifetime policies also have limits. Some have limits per condition, others have limits per condition per year, and others have limits per year. All of which have different implications for a pet owner whose pet needs treatment year after year, so it is wise to be clear which type of lifetime policy you are considering. In addition, companies often limit coverage for pre-existing conditions in order to eliminate fraudulent consumers, thus giving owners an incentive to insure even very young animals who are not expected to incur high veterinary costs while they are still healthy. There is usually a short period after a pet insurance policy is bought when the holder will be unable to claim for sickness, often no more than 14 days from inception. This is to cover illnesses contracted before the pet was covered, but whose symptoms appeared only after coverage has begun. Some insurers offer options not directly related to pet health, including covering boarding costs for animals whose owners are hospitalised, or costs such as rewards or posters associated with retrieving lost animals. Some policies also include travel cancellation coverage if owners must remain with pets who need urgent treatment or are dying. Some British policies for dogs also include third-party liability insurance. Thus, for example, if a dog causes a car accident that damages a vehicle, the insurer will pay to rectify the damage for which the owner is responsible under the Animals Act of 1971. Some dog insurance and cat insurance policies in Australia and New Zealand include third liability cover too, covering damage the animal does to a third party's personal property. Pets are included in this definition of property. So that suggests that in Australia and New Zealand, if a cat attacks another cat and that other cat gets injured, the person who owns the attacker would have to pay for the veterinary treatment. That's interesting. Exclusions from pet insurance. The following are some of the general exclusions from most available pet insurance plans. Intentional or malicious harm to the pet, injury or illness caused by neglect or inexperienced pet handling, loss or harm caused by any form of war, rebellion, or insurrection. That's weird. Hereditary disorders, developmental defects, death from rabies, distemper, viral hepatitis, viral enteritis, leptospirosis, and other diseases, illnesses contracted prior to purchasing the policy, and spaying or neutering, vaccinations, microchips, ear or teeth cleanings, and annual checkups. That makes sense. The differences between companies. Pet insurance companies are beginning to offer the pet owner more of an ability to customise their coverage by allowing them to choose their own level of deductible or co-insurance. This allows the pet owner to control their monthly premium and choose the level of coverage that suits them best. Some of the differences in insurance coverages are which pets are covered, typically dogs and cats, though some insurance companies cover horses or other pets, whether congenital and hereditary conditions like hip dysplasia, heart defects, eye cataracts, or diabetes are covered, How the reimbursement is calculated based on the actual vet bill, a benefit schedule, or usual and customary rates. Whether the deductible, called an excess in some countries, is on a per vet bill, per claimable incident, or an annual basis. Whether there are any limits or caps applied, per incident, per year, age, or over the pet's lifetime. And whether there is an annual contract that determines anything diagnosed in the previous year of coverage is considered pre-existing the next year. That's quite interesting, considering how certain countries treat their pets in terms of insurance and stuff. It's quite fun. You probably might not find this one, but this is interesting. It's like new information. Hello. This is a short one. Fang Kao Street Station, which is located in the Wuhu district. Wuhu district in the city of Chengdu in Sichuan, the Sichuan province in China. Operated by Chengdu Metro Limited. Line 8 is that goes through there, and there's 2 platforms. It's a recent one. Opened on the 18th of December 2020. And on the Chengdu Metro, Line 8 is... So this station is preceded by the Nijiaqiao towards Shilidian. And following the station is Yongfeng towards Lianhua. And there's a metro station at Chengdu, Sichuan. It was opened on December 18th, 2010 with the opening of Chengdu Metro Line 8. Oh, so this was like the opening of that line. Ah, okay. Well, that was quite a short one. There's some nice pictures on this as well. Look them up if you get the chance. Ooh. Okay. This is a politician. Interesting. Chandulal Chandraka. Chandulal Chandraka, born on the 1st of January 1920 and died on the 2nd of February 1995, was an Indian journalist and politician who was a member of the 10th Lok Sabha, representing Durg, Lok Sabha constituency, of Madhya Pradesh state. He was also elected as member of the 4th, 5th, 7th and 8th Lok Sabha of the Indian Parliament. Early life. Chandraka was born on the 1st of January 1920 in Nipani village in Durg district. Chandraka became a journalist in 1945 for the Hindustan Times, with stories also published in other Indian and foreign newspapers. He reported on 9 Olympic Games and 3 Asian Games. Chandraka served as an editor at Daily India. In 1970, Chandraka was elected to the Lok Sabha the first 5 times. He served as the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Agriculture, Rural Development. Chandraka became a General Secretary of the All India Committee and a spokesperson of the Madhya Pradesh Congress Committee. Chhattisgarh remained the president of State All-Party Forum. Chandraka died on the 2nd of February 1995. The Chhattisgarh government established the Chandulal Chandraka Fellowship in his memory. So he was quite well regarded within their party, and so they set up a thing for him. That's quite nice. Random article. Let's go. Oh, another politician. John Ross, New South Wales politician. John Ross, OBE, 1st of September 1891 to 5th of October 1973, was an Australian politician elected as a member of the New South Wales Legislative Assembly for the seat of Albury. He was a member of the Nationalist Party of Australia. The Nationalist Party? Uh-oh. Oh no, a merger between the Liberal Party and the National Labour Party. Oh, okay. Never mind, I thought it was a totally different thing. Ross was made an officer of the Order of the British Empire in 1959. So, would that have been during Elizabeth II's first visit to Australia? Oh, it could have been. His daughter Dorothy would be the first national president of the Country Women's Association. He was a member for Albury from 1927 to 1930. It was a new seat developed for him, according to this, and succeeded by Joseph Fitzgerald. Again, a quick one. Quite interesting. Politician. Let's see if we have another. This is somebody... Oh, it's a football player again. George Menugong, Date of birth, May 18th, 1985, age 39. Place of birth, Yaoundé, Cameroon. I hope I've said that properly. Yaoundé, maybe. Or Yaoundé, I don't know. In Cameroon. Height, 1.74 metres, 5 foot 8.5, and he's position of forward. His youth career, 2001 to 2003, he was a member of Espoirs de Yaoundé. In his senior career, he had 10 appearances with 1 goal from 2004 to 5 at Nagui Carlo. From 2005 to 2006 at Yazapati with 23 appearances and 5 goals. 2006-2008, Nyera Gyaza, 31 appearances, 1 goal. 2008-10, The Box, 44 appearances, 13 goals. 2010-2012, the Daya Sigur, 43 appearances, 15 goals. 2012-2013, Kazink Barkika, 12 appearances, 2 goals. And 2013-2015, Mezokovest, 53 appearances, 13 goals. George Riet, born May 18th, 1985 in Yaoundé, is a Cameroon-born Hungarian football player who currently plays for Mezokoved Zasori SC. And this has not been updated since 2015, so he may have retired. We don't. Who knows? Next, random. We'll do a few more. Dakar Port Sudan Railway. The Dakar Port Sudan Railway is a proposed 4,000 kilometres long transcontinental railway between Dakar, Senegal and Port Sudan, Sudan. It was proposed in 2008 to 2010 to pass through several countries along the way, with spur lines to capital cities and not on the direct route. It was hoped that the initial line would develop into a railway network that would cover the whole of Africa. By comparison, except for the extreme south and extreme north of Africa, railways are fragmentary and hampered by differences in track gauge. It would go through the following countries: Senegal, Mali, Niger, Chad and Sudan. There's already a meter gauge, a Dakar-Niger railway from Dakar to Koulikoro, Mali, as well as a 3-foot 6-inch gauge railway connecting Port Sudan to Niala, Sudan, near the border with Chad. Again, quite short, very interesting. Random. Church. Interesting. The Anglican Diocese of Niger Delta. The Anglican Diocese of Niger Delta is one of 13 within the Anglican province of Niger Delta, itself one of 14 provinces within the Church of Nigeria. The current bishop, as of don't know what year, can have a look. According to this, the current bishop is so as of 2022, okay, is Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Okwuchi Okojaja. The diocese was established on the 1st of January 1952 under the pioneer bishop Ebenezer Dimieri. Dimieri retired in 1961 and was succeeded as bishop by Rogers Barrow Hart, who was retired in 1970. His replacement was Bishop Y.A. Fubara, who handed over to Samuel Onyuku Elenwo in 1981. Elenwo became bishop of the newly created Diocese of Niger Delta North in 1996 and was succeeded by Gabriel Herbert Peppel, followed by Ralph Iberian in 2010, followed by the Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Okwuchi Okojaja in 2022. So I had quite a few leaders before one of them went up north and made a new sort of diocese. Oh, another animal. The Cylindera bigamina. The Cylindera bigamina is an extant species of tiger beetle in the genus Cylindera. So again, Eukaryota, Animalia, Arthropoda, Insecta, Coleoptera, Cicindelidae, Cylindera. And that was it was named by Klug in 1834. Next. Rattling through some of these now, because we've got some quite short ones. Uzunalan Avakich, maybe. Uzunalan is a village in the Akovich district of Kanakal province in Turkey. Its population is 96 as of 2021. The time zone is UTC +3, which is Turkey time. TRT. Random article. Here we go. Chess player. Here we go. Rita Gramignani, country Italy. Born October 12, 1943, age 18, La Spezia, Italia. Rita Gramignani, born 12th of October 1943, is an Italian chess player. She's a 9-time winner of the Italian Women's Chess Championship in 1973, 75, 76, 80, 83, 87, 89, 91, and 1992. From the 1970s to the 1990s, this is her biography, Rita Gramignani was one of the leading Italian women's chess players. She won 9 times, as we said. Only Stefano Tattai, between Italian chess players, has more victories in Italian chess championships, with 12. In 1976, Rita Gramignani participated at Women's World Chess Championship Interzonal Tournament in Rosendal and ranked 14th place. And she played for Italy in the Women's Chess Olympiads. 76 at first board in the 7th Chess Olympiad in Haifa. In 1980 at the 9th Chess Olympiad in Valletta. Second board in Thessaloniki in 1984, 1988 in Thessaloniki. 1990 in Novi Sad, 1994 in Moscow, and 1996 in Yerevan. In 2000, she received the AMIS, the Associazione Maestri Italiani di Scacchi, Gioacchino Greco Award, a life for chess. In 2016, Mayor of La Spezia, Massimo Federici, gave Rita Gramignani a parchment in recognition of the very high results achieved. So, very high-achieving chess player. Well done you, Rita. Oh. Okay. So this person is another politician. They have quite a bit, so this is probably going to be the last one. So, Sean Dublin Bay Rockall Loftus. It was in office of the Teachda from 1981 to 1982 in his constituency of Dublin North East. He was Dublin City Councillor from 1974 to 1999 in Clontarf, Lord Mayor of Dublin from June 1995 to 1996, in June, preceded by John Gormley, succeeded by Brendan Lynch. Personal details. Born Sean Daniel Loftus, 1st of November 1927 in Dublin, and died on the 10th of July 2010, aged 82, in Dublin, Ireland. Political party independent, spouse Una Ui Lachnain, married 1962. 3 children, education Catholic University School, alma mater University College Dublin, attended King's Inns, and his occupation was a lecturer, presumably before So Sean Dublin Bay Rockall Loftus was an Irish environmentalist, barrister and politician who drew attention to his campaign issues by changing his name. He was often known as Dublin Bay Loftus. He was a member of Dublin City Council for 25 years, an alderman for much of that time, and a member of the Council's Planning and Development Committee. Loftus is often credited as being one of the first advocates for environmentalism in Irish politics, with former Green Party leader John Gormley stating that Loftus led the way even before the Green Party came into existence. Sean never wavered in his pursuit of the highest environmental ideals. Besides his environmentalist views, Loftus subscribed to the label of Christian Democrat and was socially conservative, opposing moves by Taoiseach Garret Fitzgerald to liberalise Irish laws around divorce, contraceptives and abortion. Okay. Background. Born Sean Daniel Loftus in Dublin in 1927, he was the eldest of 7 siblings. He attended Colaist Muir Primary School on Parnell Square and received a secondary education at Catholic University School. His father was a doctor, and Loftus attended medical school at University College Dublin but did not enjoy it, leaving before graduating. He moved to England in the late 1940s where he worked as a builder. After 6 years he returned to Ireland to attend King's Inns, qualifying as a barrister. He returned to England for several years before moving to the United States, where he worked and lectured. He moved back to Ireland in 1961. Loftus specialised in town planning law, lecturing in law at Bolton Street College of Technology, later the Dublin Institute of Technology. A resident of Clontarf, he campaigned for the sustainable development of Dublin Bay. Loftus was a devout Catholic, While he lived in the United States, he was an active member of the Montclair, New Jersey branch of an Irish-American Catholic fraternal organization, the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Members must be male Catholic and either born in Ireland or Irish descent. Okay, I'm not suspicious of that, but we'll move on. He was guest of honour at the 1960 AOH National Convention by invitation of the national president, Jeremiah J. O'Callaghan, and Loftus moved back to Ireland in 1961. Political career. During his time in America, Loftus met Eduardo Frei Montalva, who later became the leader of the Christian Democratic Party of Chile and was also the president of Chile. The meeting with Montalva, who Loftus continued to admire afterwards, influenced Loftus to subscribe to the idea of Christian democracy with corporatist influences. Due to this influence, during the late 1950s, Loftus flirted with the hard-right National Action Organisation, a group that advocated for vocationism, the localised Irish term for corporatism. In 1961, Loftus founded the Christian Democrat Party of Ireland and stood for election to Dáil Éireann at the 1961 general election in the Dublin North East constituency, the first of 16 attempts. Jesus. He contested every general election from 1961 to 1997. Although the party would exist for 2 decades, the Christian Democrat Party of Ireland struggled to register themselves on Ireland's official register of political parties and fought numerous court cases to achieve this. However, they were unsuccessful, and partially because of this, the party never became any grander than a nexus of Rockall supporters. In 1972, the Dublin Port and Docks Board proposed the building of an oil refinery in Dublin Bay. The plan was vigorously opposed by environmentalists, including Loftus, on the grounds that it posed a serious risk of pollution. Fair enough. Despite the measure having the support of larger political groups such as official Sinn Féin, or the Workers' Party, as I think it is now known, the planned oil refinery was eventually rejected in 1976, thanks in part to Loftus bringing a bucket of polluted water from the bay to a public inquiry. That's quite interesting. At the 1973 general election, Loftus stood for election to the Dáil in the Dublin North Central constituency as a Christian Democrat on the issue of Dublin Bay. Because the party was too small to be registered under the Electoral Act 1963, meaning Loftus would be listed as non-party. He changed his name by deed poll to Sean D. Christian Democrat Dublin Bay Loftus, in order that his political affiliation and campaign issue would appear on the ballot paper. Although not elected, he succeeded in highlighting the issue, and the proposal was eventually turned down by the Minister for Local Government, James Tully. With the momentum from his campaign against the Dublin Bay oil refinery building, Loftus was elected to Dublin Corporation in 1974. In the following years, Loftus changed his name by deed poll several times more, to Sean Dublin Bay Loftus, Sean Dublin Bay Rockall Loftus, as part of a campaign to press the Irish government to make the territorial claim to the Rockall Islet 424 kilometres off the coast of County Donegal, and Sean Alderman Dublin Bay Rockall Loftus, among others. It was under this last name that he was elected to the 22nd Dáil for the Dublin North East constituency at the 1981 general election. This Dáil was short-lived, however, and he himself contributed to the end of his Dáil career, where he voted against John Bruton's budget in January 1982. During the early 80s, Loftus supported the anti-H block movement. What's the anti? The political game by supporters within whose H-shaped blocks. Oh, the hunger movement, and opposed attempts by Taoiseach Garrett Fitzgerald to liberalise Irish laws, suggesting Fitzgerald was attempting to de-Christianise the People's Constitution. Sure. At the February 1982 general election, he stood in 2 constituencies, Dublin North East and Dublin North Central, but failed to win a seat in either. Loftus continued to contest Dáil and European Parliament elections until 1997. He remained on Dublin City Council and served as Lord Mayor of Dublin from 1995 to 1996, for a whole year. Loftus remained active as a member and honorary legal advisor of Dublin Bay Watch, and led opposition to the 2002 application by the Dublin Port Company to fill in 52 acres of Dublin Bay. The application was rejected in June 2010 by the Planning Board and Board Plenaile, while Loftus was in hospital having undergone brain surgery. Local councillor Jerry Breen said its rejection was a fitting tribute to Loftus. His personal life. In 1962, Loftus married Una Ui Lachnain, a home economics teacher from Coot Hill, County Cavan. They had 3 children, a committed Gaeilgeoir, so somebody who speaks Irish, I think. She became heavily involved in Oireachtas na Gaeilge and was elected president of Oireachtas na Gaeilge in 2011. So that is an annual arts festival of Irish culture, apparently. Uí Lachnain also served several years as chairperson of the Dublin City Community Forum and was a founding member of the Bull Island Action Group. Loftus died on 10th of July 2010 at the Mater Private Hospital. His funeral mass took place at St Gabriel's Roman Catholic Church in Dollymount, and he was interred at St Fintan's Cemetery, Sutton, on the 12th of July 2010. His widow, Una Ui Lachnain, died on the 1st of April 2014. That's it for that Irish leader. So realistically, he had some good points, but then also he rejected some things because of his belief, which is kind of makes sense in terms of political leaders. But yeah, I think that's going to be it because we're running quite long with this. I hope you enjoyed. I know that it's been a bit random because that's technically what it is. It's just reading through random bits of Wikipedia. And before I go, I want to recommend a game to play. A game using Wikipedia. Now, I played this during sixth form, and it was probably one of the things that got me through. So we just called it the Wikipedia game, and this involved. So you click random article, and you'd have to get from that random article to a specific thing chosen by us. So if we were like, oh, you have to get from your random article to Cheerios, like the cereal brand, you'd then have to click random, and we'd get that WWW Austrian television series, and then we'd have to work our way through Wikipedia to find Cheerios, and it's whoever the fastest is. And it's weird, because you start to learn how Wikipedia works and where you can, your old reliables, the best option is always go to your countries and then continents if you need to change, country, and then, yeah. Or, you can obviously add extra rules where it's if you get into an actor, you can say, oh, well, you're not allowed to use Marvel, or you're not allowed to, go through that means because it might be too easy. But yes, thank you for watching / listening to my ramble of bollocks or whatever this is, and I hope we get to do this soon. A farewell.